You said in 2016, lock her up. And then when you became president, you said, we don't do that in America. That's just not the right thing to do. That's what they're doing. Do you regret not locking her up? And if you're president again, will you lock people up?
Will you lock people up, says Colonel Glenn Beck. Sanders has called and wants his outfit back. My God, he's slowly going to turn into a piece of fried chicken. But there's Glenn Beck again, still around, asking the former president Donald Trump, just the most leading question, the question we hear out of right wingers all the time, which is, so what are you going to do? Are you going to create a fascist police state? Please say yes. So Trump does have an answer. Let's take a listen.
Well, I'll give you an example. The answer is you have no choice because they're doing it to us. I always had such great respect for the office of the president, the presidency, but the office of the president, and I never hit Biden as hard as I could have. And then I heard he was trying to indict me, and it was him that was doing it. I don't think he's sharp enough to think about much, but he was there, and he was probably the one giving the order, but he was, hard to believe that he even thinks about that because he's gone. But then I said, well, they're actually trying to indict me because every one of these indictments is him.
It's all him, sleepy Joe Biden, who's not even there. He's sort of gone, but Yasmin, he's behind everything. And also, you have no choice but to lock up the people who want to lock you up, provided you're not actually locked up. Because then there's a whole, I don't know the order of operations here, but this is all fun and games and it's all funny, I guess, but he is going to be the Republican nominee. And this feels like the kind of behavior that like the United States has helped topple regimes over, or that people topple their own regimes over, which I'm just wondering who's gonna coup the United States at this point. But what do you make of this? Is he just saying that he's gonna lock people up just to say it? Or do you think he actually is, if reelected, going to pursue all
going to lock people up? I also think it's funny that was how Glenn Beck decided to pose the question, because he just said, are you going to lock people up? Not like, if you find crimes committed, are you going to do something about it? He said, just lock people up, which is really weird. I also like the hypocrisy, maybe not the hypocrisy, but just how their own Republican narratives tend to cancel each other out. Like Joe Biden is so sleepy, he doesn't know what's going on, he has dementia, but also he's this mastermind. And it's Joe Biden, specifically him personally, who is going after Trump right now. Yes. So I have no idea what Trump is gonna do whenever he gets into office. Right now, we already see the Republicans trying to find crimes where there are none. And they're trying so hard to find crimes. And even with all that effort and time and money that they're spending doing it, they still don't have crimes that they have found. They don't have evidence for things. And I know that this is actually gonna come up in some of the stories that we're gonna be talking about later in the show. But it's just like, if you really had the evidence, then show it to us, but you don't have it. So they're just going about talking about crimes and saying we have evidence, but they don't. So
yes, the sleepiest crime family in all of the land. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The lock him up, which is like, hang on, time out. Are you mad you didn't lock him up? Wasn't it, I'm sorry, reclaiming our time, wasn't it lock her up? Let's not erase Hillary Clinton here. You can't just graft your old slogan onto Joe Biden, be like, I should have locked him up. Also, you went pretty hard against Joe Biden as the president, trying to basically undermine your opponent in all kinds of illegal ways. In fact, I'm pretty sure you got impeached for it the first time. Remember that? And then when the shenanigan didn't work, you got impeached again. So bro, you went pretty hard. You tried to strong arm the president of a small country into just find me some dirt. And Zelensky's like, oh my God, I'm trying, but I'm pretty sure this is illegal. But that doesn't matter because MAGA chuds are very excited for Donald Trump to come back into office. They're promising all the things that he's kind of promising, I guess. Here's Charlie Kirk with a very long tweet that I think he had to pay for. Trump 2.0, 47 will not be 45. Okay, here's the list. He'll fire the deep state via Schedule F. Thousands of Democrat bureaucrats will get fired day one. Local DC housing market will be impacted. I love that like random tidbit. Like, okay, well, yeah, let's look out for the local DC housing market. Ukraine insanity will be stopped, as in will allow Russia to do whatever they want. Whole agencies will be moved out of the DC swamp. Department of Ed eliminated completely. Border will be restored. Deportation of Biden's millions of illegals will commence. I love the commence is such a, ooh, you're such a little schoolyard boy. It'll commence. Criminal intel agents will be prosecuted. American energy production unleashed. College funding will be revoked for secret AA emissions. I don't know what that is. JFK files released, thank God. Federal DEI positions abolished. Military recruitment will surge and more. Trump 2.0 will be a retribution presidency. I'll be back. Like, can we cue that? Doom, doom, doom. Fog machine, fire, fire. Honestly, this, as corny as this sounds, Yasmin, Stephen Miller was in the White House. So these kinds of fantasy Nazi nerds, they have tried to come true, and for many people who suffered under the Trump administration, did come true. But again, I'm caught between like, these are idiots, and also I'm very terrified, which has kind of been the entire theme of the Trump years in and of themselves.
Yeah, I think what the Trump years have been for so many people is just incredulity and just disbelief, and like, how did we get to this point? How did any of this happen? And is it going to get any better? It's really hard to kind of see the end point of all of this, right? Like, how long are we stuck in this weird vortex with time and this weird president and all these people who are scary to a lot of Americans? And you want to laugh at the things that they say, but it's hard to even laugh anymore, because then next thing you know, all these crazy things that they're saying become reality. They actually get into office somehow. People actually vote for them. QAnon used to be something that was hilarious when it first came out. I remember I did like a Instagram story about it, and I was like, this is crazy. And then next thing you know, it's like destroying families across America, and some of these QAnon believers are actually in our government. So yep. I don't know what the end goal is here. I don't know what the way out of it is, but I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired of this whole phase of American history.
Oh my God, amen, amen. And yet we are so far from getting out of it.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.